let's talk a little bit about something that's quite awkward, and that's losing friends. So I'm a business owner. I founded the first ever subscription accounting service for small businesses back in 2006. And obviously starting a business, running a business is all consuming. I've talked before about how I don't have boundaries and need to work on that, and that it takes up so much of your life. And for a long time was all of my identity with my business. I'll be honest, it still is, really. But there have been 2 times in my life where I have had to make the decision to not be friends with somebody because their ethos did not align with mine and their energy didn't align, and ultimately they just didn't understand where I was coming from. And that means that we didn't have anything in common. There wasn't enough common ground to sustain a friendship. A true friendship shouldn't be really hard work. Yes, all relationships require you to put coins into the trust meter, but they shouldn't be hard work. They shouldn't cause you stress and anxiety. They're supposed to be joyful. And these friendships weren't bringing me joy anymore. The first was back kind of in the first few years of Mazuma. It was a really busy time. She said, let's go out for drinks, wanted to go out for drinks on a Friday night. And I said, I can't, I'm swamped. Asked me again in a couple of weeks. I'm really sorry. I'm just, we were moving offices. It was a whole thing. In a couple of weeks, she said, let's go out for drinks. And I was like, I'm really, really sorry. It's still like, life is hectic right now. I just need to not go out drinking. I just need to recuperate. And she sent me screenshots of the messages from the couple of weeks before, basically going, well, you said a couple of weeks ago you'd be ready. And it just signaled to me there was a complete lack of understanding of what I was going through. I was going through something really challenging, really tough, and completely uncharted territory for myself, and she couldn't relate to that. And I had to make the decision that we couldn't be friends anymore, because there was no empathy being shown there. If your friend's going through anything, whether it be a marriage, a divorce, moving house, having a child, you give them empathy. Running, growing, starting a business requires that empathy from people too. And very often as a business owner, you'll find friends and family don't understand it and they don't get it. And I found it, in that instance, easier just to phase that friendship out. The other one was when I launched my IUD campaign a couple of years ago. And a friend of mine, someone who had been a friend of mine, basically told me that all this fuss I was making and campaigning for better pain relief for women when they had IUD fittings was nonsense, and that there were other things, bigger things to worry about, and was essentially sick of my feminism. And yeah, she removed herself from my life by very quickly and followed me on all social medias. And essentially there's nothing that says I don't want to be friends with you and listen to anything you've got to say than removing you from all social media simultaneously. So that was quite clear to me that she didn't want to be my friend anymore because her beliefs on pain management of IUD fittings didn't align with mine, and that was enough for her to not want to be friends anymore. And that one actually really hurt because we've been quite good friends. And yes, I am a very vocal feminist, and I will fight for things that I think are unjust, and I will stand up for people. So that one really hurt because I felt like I was doing something good for not just myself and other women of this generation, but women of the next generation. Anyway, losing friends is hard, and sometimes it happens to you, and sometimes you actively choose to have to remove those people. My advice on it would be, if the thought of hanging out with that person or having to interact with that person causes you anxiety, if that person you feel is a drain on your battery rather than energizing you, if they're not giving you back what you're giving out, then it's probably time to kind of set that friendship to pasture. There is some research out there that says the average friendship lasts 7 years or something. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I've got friends I've had almost my whole life, and I've got friends that have phased in and out depending on where I live and where I work and stuff like that. But friendship should bring you joy, and friendship should be your chosen people. We put up with our family, but friendship should be people you choose to be around, who invigorate you, who give you energy. And sometimes you don't align on things, and if those things that you don't align on are enough to mean that the thought of hanging out with that person causes you stress, then maybe it's time to let that friendship go. When you make space by doing that, you'll find there'll be other people that come into your life who bring you that joy and bring you that energy and give you those vibes that you need to take whatever it is you're doing, your job, your business, forward. I think it's a key part of personal development, knowing when to let things go and when it's right for you, protecting your peace a little bit. And yes, sometimes that means having to let go of friendships. But I just wanted to share that with you. I've spoken to a few people about it, and it's definitely something, because running a business can be really lonely. So maybe we cling on to people from our past or cling on to friends we've had because we think it takes away a bit of that loneliness. But it's far more lonely being around people who do not understand what you're going through and can't relate and can't speak to you about it than it is not having those people in your life at all. So losing friends, a bit of a contentious issue, but if it's for your own personal development and it's something you need to do, then it might be a decision that you have to make at some point. So let me know if that's applied to you too.